Have you ever found yourself slinking back in a conversation or even withholding your true thoughts when you really had important insight or information to share? Or have you ever been so bold with your insights in a conversation that you overlook the thoughts and feelings of the other person and maybe even regretted it? If you're like me, you grapple with both. Please join me for this session of Leader Up as we focus on Habit 4, Think Win-Win, and specifically dig into this idea of balancing courage and consideration in our most important relationships and conversations. So courage is defined as the willingness and ability to speak your thoughts and feelings in a respectful manner. Consideration is defined as the willingness and ability to seek and listen to others' thoughts and feelings in a respectful manner. Maturity lies in this space when we can balance courage and consideration. It is possible to find the balance, but all too often we end up leaning one way or the other. When you think about your natural inclination, what tendencies do you exhibit? Are you too courageous without regard for the thoughts and feelings of other people? Or perhaps are you too considerate, where you lack regard for yourself and struggle to candidly share your thoughts and feelings? Let's confirm your thinking on those tendencies. If you would, quickly draw a grid that looks like this. Now, add the word consideration along the horizontal axis and the word courage along the vertical axis. We're now ready to dig in. I will read you 4 scenarios. After each scenario, consider where you would put yourself on the matrix of courage and consideration. Are you high or low in each of them for a given scenario? Put a key word where you fall for each conversation scenario. I'll demonstrate on the screen. Scenario 1. Where do you fall when it's time to share a great idea you have with others? Scenario 2. Where do you fall when it involves someone who thinks differently than you politically? Scenario 3. Where do you fall when a good friend asks you what you think about their significant other, who you happen to not like or trust very much? Scenario 4. Where do you fall when a trusted colleague gives you tough but fair feedback and you need to respond? As you can imagine, there are many more scenarios that we might consider, but this gives us a snapshot of potential trends you may exhibit around courage and consideration. Look for those trends in your responses. Do you find yourself consistently leaning one way or the other? Have you found the balance between courage and consideration? But now let's consider what this really means. Let's say in one of those scenarios you landed in low consideration and low courage. That would be a lose-lose scenario. No one is winning here. But let's say you're very high in consideration by putting the other person's needs first, but low in courage. This would be a lose-win scenario, meaning you lose, they win. But what if you have high courage and low consideration? This would be considered a win-lose scenario. You are winning, but only at the expense of the other person. Lastly and optimally, if you're high in courage and high in consideration, it's a win-win. Both you and the other person's thoughts and feelings are important and acknowledged. By balancing courage and consideration in relationships and conversations, you are laying the foundation for mutual respect, the capacity to empathically listen, which is habit 5, and to synergize, which is habit 6. Thank you for joining me on Leader Up. All the best to you as you find the sweet spot between courage and consideration. To experience more leadership learning, check out Leader Valley's leadership series at the link below this video.